I like to make a difference between principles and values. We need to change from the inside out. And the ladies know this very, very well, right? It is worthless to starve yourself to death in order to lose 5 pounds in 4 weeks, right? It's worthless. Why? Because after 4 weeks, what do? You go back to eat like a beast, all right? You get back the 5 pounds and a little bit more. So ladies know this very well in the diet. If you want to lose weight, you have to change the way that you see food. You cannot, I always say, I have a seafood diet. I eat whatever I see. Yes. But, you know, you have to change the way you see food. Some of us, when we are sad, we eat. If we are happy, we eat. If we fought with our husbands, we eat. And if we are happy with them, we prepare a meal, you know. So we need to change the way that we look at food. Food is for feeding, and that's it. But we use food for other purposes as well. So we need to look at the food in a different way than what we look at it right now. And then, you know, we need to do some exercise and change our way of life. When we change the way that we live our lives, the pounds will get off by themselves, right? They will take care by themselves, and then we'll keep our weight long term. So we need to understand that it's much better to change on the inside out. I remember going to a Latin American country, to the country of Bolivia, and going to buy a stove. So I went into a store and I told the salesman, do you have a stove? And he said, yes, I have a stove. And I said, well, how much this one cost? And he says, well, that one costs $230 US. I said, oh, $230 US. Can I buy it in payments, you know, monthly payments? He said, yes, you can buy this stove in 10 easy payments of $35 each. Then I thought, wait a minute. If I pay this stove cash, I'm going to pay it how much? $230. If I pay it in easy installments of $35 each, how much I end up paying? $350, right? Okay, $350. So what is the difference between $350 and $230? $120. All right. Thank you very much. I am terrible in math. I only teach about finances. Yeah. $120. All right. $120 was the salary of a full-time teacher in this country several years ago. Now, if you want to save the salary of a teacher, of a full-time teacher, $120 in this purchase, what do you need to do? Instead of, save, right? Instead of paying the store $35 every month, you pay yourself $23, right? It's much better to pay yourself $23 than to the store $35. I don't understand how people, you know, they don't get it. Better to pay yourself $23 for 10 months, and then you get the $230 and you go, you buy it. Now, but what do you need in your character in order to make that happen? You need patience, right? You need patience. So you need to be a patient person. If you're impatient, you know, when do you want to have, when do we all will like to have that stove? Now, right? But you know what's happening today in society? We have arrived at a time in history in which we have a society of 40-year-old teenagers. They may be 40 years old in age, but in maturity, they're a bunch of teenagers. They don't know how to wait. Delay gratification. We're going to talk about that later on. And delay gratification is one of the signs of maturity in your life, knowing how to wait for things in the future. So you pay, and then you also need another thing very important in your character, because 5 months, 6 months into your savings, you will see all that stash of money there in that jar. And it will be very tempting for you. What else do you need in your character? Not to discipline, self-discipline. So do you see how our character makes an impact in our financial life? If I have a mature character, if I grew up finally in life, and then I have two very important trends in my life. One is to have self-discipline, and the other one is to have patience. We need to grow up. That's one of the problems that we have. So the way that we make financial decisions shows on the outside who am I on the inside. How I make financial decisions, how people make financial decisions tells me a lot about what they value in life. For example, suppose you go down the road, you are driving down a highway or a road here in your country or maybe in another country nearby, and you are driving down this road, and there is a sign on the side of the road, and it says speed limit 80 kilometers an hour. Okay? But you are driving at 140 kilometers an hour. You are running late for something. You maybe, you cook a meal, you have a pizza there, it's getting cold, or, you have an appointment with your mother-in-law. I have my mother-in-law here. And you don't want to get late to your appointment with your mother-in-law, something like that, okay? So the truth is that the sign in the road says, speed limit 80 kilometers an hour. You are driving at 140. Now, suddenly you look in the rear view mirror, and there are some lights flashing in that mirror, and it's not Christmas. So you pull to the side of the road, and the policeman comes, okay? And he says, good morning, how you doing? Fine, fine. You were going a little bit fast, weren't you? You say, yes, I was going a little bit fast. No, well, you were a little bit fast. You were going way too fast. This road was built to go at the maximum 80 kilometers an hour. You were going at least 140. You're going to kill yourself. You have to slow down. Slow down. I'm very sorry, but I will have to write you how is it called? A ticket, a fine. You call it a fine here? I'm going to have to write you a fine, a ticket in the United States, they call it. So you suddenly feel a deep concern about this policeman's family and decide to give him a love offering, a gift from your family to his family. Maybe so he can buy something for his wife or for his dear children, Now, that act shows me your values. It shows me what you value, Number one, you don't value the law of your land. Because I don't think that in this country, bribing an official is legal. But you don't value the law of your country. You also may be a religious person, and we have a lot of religious people around the world. You may be a religious person, but you also don't value the law of God. Because the law of God says, I was reading the other day, doing some research, that we should not bribe our authorities. Because there is a paraphrase called the Living Bible. It says, you should not bribe your authorities because they get spoiled. then we get concerned, you know, we complain, these authorities are all spoiled. Well, who spoils them? You know, who? Yes. So you don't care for the law of the land, you don't value the law of God, but you value your time. See, because you say, you know, I can fix this right now, you know, a little gift for this policeman right now. I don't have to waste the time, you know, a whole day. Waste a day of work, go downtown, make the line, you don't have to pay. It's just a waste of time. I can fix this right now. Huh? And then you also value your money because you say, I can fix this with this little gift, then I don't have to pay that big fine. Huh? So do you see how the way that we make financial decisions shows on the outside the things that we value on the inside? So we need to talk about these things because we need to change from the inside out. And then there are differences between principles and values. We consider values those things that we believe they are important in life. Values could be good or bad. Principles, on the other hand, are timeless, cross-cultural, universal rules and norms that we must obey if we want to live our lives in a way that is most satisfying. So principles are timeless, cross-cultural, universal. They are always right. They are never wrong. We obey the principles or we disobey the principles. Values, we can have good values and bad values. Could be, values refers to the things that we value in life, that we think are important for us in life. But when we talk about principles, we are talking about timeless, cross-cultural laws that we must obey if we want things to go right in our life. For example, in order to build this building, there has been some building principles that had to be obeyed, right? And the building principles that have been obeyed here are true in Europe, in America, in China. It doesn't matter where you are. The building principles to build a building, they are always the same. Now, there are many ways to go around these principles, this way and that way, different ways to obey them, but they are always the same. And if you disobey these principles, then you may get in trouble.